All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, another regular season video, the first postseason video. Play-in stats don't count for anything, they're just in limbo. Welcome back to another NBA video, at least. In this video, we're going to talk about the play-in. The teams are set, winner go home to be the 8th seed or the 7th seed, and the pleasure to either play the Oklahoma City Thunder or the San Antonio Spurs, which is a really good treat for all the hard work you put in all season. But nevertheless, we're going to talk about these teams, the teams in front of you. I'm going to try to refrain from talking about the majority of the regular season, and talk as if I think they can win one game to be in the playoffs. And throw all the other stuff about these teams out the window, really just focus on what we have now with these teams. So if you like what I say, like the video. If you have any opinions, comment it down below. And if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. So we're going to start out west. And let's start with that. Let's go higher seed to lower seed and then vice versa in the east. Um, First matchup we have here, we have the Phoenix Suns versus the Portland Trailblazers. The Phoenix Suns are the 7th seed. The Portland Trailblazers are the 8th seed. They are at the top of your screen on top left, top right. Um, I'll explain how the plan works in a minute, but let's get through these matchups first, and then we'll talk through it. Um, Phoenix versus Portland. Is that in? Where is that? It's in Phoenix. Oh yeah, so the higher seeding still matters. Okay. Phoenix versus Portland. Man, oh man, what do I think about these two teams? I was really low on Phoenix coming into the year. I didn't think they had the roster. I thought maybe they'd take a year off, recoup some of their their reputation. But they have brought it back around. I'm looking at their injuries right now. They have a lot of people listed day to day. This is just from the last game they played. All of this was like, what do you call it? Load management. So guys like Grayson Allen, Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, Con Gillespie, Jalen Green, Royce O'Neal, Mark Williams will probably all be healthy for this matchup versus the Portland Trailblazers, who, let's see if they have anybody out right now. They have no injuries. That's right. They're fully healthy for the first time, right at the right time. Um, they do have a lot of interesting talent on this team. Sort of an interesting matchup between these two teams because they're very similar. Like they run a lot of depth. They're very high energy. Um, Battle of the Stars, I guess Devin Booker versus Denny Avdia. That's one way to sell the price to get in, right? I love me some Devin Booker. I don't really have a problem with Denny either. He's all right. I did want to look at the last times they've. All right, like I was saying, I want to take a trip back, look at the last times they've played here in the regular season, get an idea of what they could do in the postseason. I'm looking at this from the Phoenix Suns perspective right now. So they won against Portland on February 3rd. Um, they when did they play them next? They won against Portland on November 18th. um, they only played twice. That's crazy. I mean, both Western Conference teams only playing twice is kind of crazy. Oh no, they lost to Portland on February 22nd. Okay, so they're 2 for 3 on the season series. Um, let's see here. Yeah, 2 for 1 on the season. A 3 game series in the regular season. That's what I'm going to say. Um, what do I like about both these teams? I like that the Phoenix Suns have some edge. They have some never back down. They have some really good intangibles, and they have some really good tangibles and really good players in Dylan Brooks, who surprised me all season, who I'm happy to be surprised by because his offense has looked really good. I'll have to see it against, some of these wings, and especially against a guy like, where is he? Drew Holiday in Portland. Um, that'll be interesting. See if Tumani Kamara can lock up um, Dylan Brooks. You have Devin Booker, the vet on this team. Yeah, the vet. He's been through it all. He's been to the finals. Has a lot of experience in big games. Will he put up a stinker? I don't know. I have a lot of faith in Devin. I mean, I'm looking at his jersey right now. I have a lot of faith in the guy. I don't. This Portland team is. They'll hit you in the mouth. The thing is, they'll hit you in the mouth. But now that they have Drew Holiday back and Scoot Henderson is playing some actual good basketball, they've struggled to close out teams. But the last couple of times I've watched them, especially also with Donovan Clingan hitting his threes, it's very hard to close out this Portland team, and they have a hard time closing out games as well. So it goes both ways for them. Um, this it's important to note also that both these teams have rookie coaches. Um, Portland has Tiago Splitter as their interim coach, first time head coach, and the Phoenix Suns have Jordan Ott. So both have never really been in this situation coaching a big game like this. So I'd be interested to see their adjustments in these games, in this game, and games hopefully going forward for the winner. Jalen Green for the Phoenix Suns, who I wasn't very high on this season. He didn't play a lot of games. But man, has he looked good when he's played. He's looked scary good. Like I might have to eat my own words on Jalen Green, if they get this team to the playoffs. Um, and they also have Mark Williams has figured something out this season. He's figured something out, and there was a game who they play against. I forget who it was. Maybe I can look at it here. Who they play recently? Um, was it Los Angeles? It might have been Los Angeles. No, Dallas? Houston? I forget who it was. They beat the brakes off somebody bad, and it was really because of Mark Williams and his size and a bunch of these other guys going after the boards. So it's gonna be interesting to see these teams match up against each other. For Portland, you have Denny, you have Tumani Kamara, you have Jeremy Grant, who still plays basketball. I always forget he's on this team. Scoot Henderson, who's revitalized at least a portion of his reputation. At least for this Portland Trailblazers team. He's come back. Every game he's come back, he's looked a little bit better. And he looks a little less goofy out there because he was rocking some interesting accessories out there. Drew Holiday, the vet on this team, and Matisse Thybulle still in this team. Robert Williams. This team has a lot of bodies that throw out whatever the Phoenix Suns. If Jalen Green's hot, you throw um, Tumani or Drew on him. If Devin Booker's hot, you throw Drew or you know Denny on him. If Mark Williams is hot, you throw Robert Williams out there or Donovan Clingan. This game, I think this game is gonna be dictated by the amount of fouls each team has. Because if Portland gets in the foul trouble early and they can't play some of their big names, it's gonna be really hard for Denny and whoever else out there is gonna try to pick up the pieces, and vice versa for the Phoenix Suns. If Jalen Green gets a couple quick fouls, if Mark Williams catches a couple quick ones, Devin Booker, who's been notorious for that in his playoff and uh, play-in career, uh, we'll see. And they also notable name Grayson Allen on this team, who gets into some stuff. We'll see. This game, they might. I've never said this on this channel. There might be a fight in this game. I don't know because both these teams have some attitude to them. There might be a fight. Um, who would I pick to win? I already did this sort of, and I kind of made most of these already. These predictions. So if I walk back on one of these predictions, I'm sorry. I'm just reacting to it right now as I see it in front of me, and both teams healthy and the situation they're both in. So if I change my mind, it's whatever. I'm changing it right now. So, or if I say the same thing, boo, boo hoo. Hmm. I'm gonna I'm gonna give the edge to Phoenix. I'm gonna give the edge, and strictly also speaking of who I think would be the better matchup for. Um, well, actually, now's a good time to tell you how the plan works. So I have Phoenix winning this game, this particular game, right? So this is the seventh, eighth game, right? The 7-8 game. Um, Whoever wins this game becomes the seventh seed. So they would play. Whoever wins this game is going to become the team who plays the Spurs. And whoever wins the 9-10 goes to the next round, and the loser of the 7-8 has to play the winner of the 9-10 matchup, which in this case would be Golden State versus the Clippers, which we'll get to in a second. Um, so the loser, so Portland has to play either Um, in my world, in my if Portland either has to play Golden State or the Clippers, and they would have to beat one of those teams to become the eighth seed. I don't think there is a. Mm, I think that. Mm, I'll say this. Actually, I'm gonna go back on this. I think both these teams can come out winners. I think Phoenix and Portland can both become the official seventh and eighth seed still, because I don't like the Clippers or the Warriors versus either of these teams. Yeah, I don't like. So in a perfect world, yeah, Portland becomes the eighth seed and Phoenix becomes the seventh seed, and they stay in their respective spots as the standings would say, and they work their way through the plan to officially become the eighth and seventh seed. So Portland would play OKC, which should be interesting. Um, I don't know. I don't know how well that would go. OKC just might beat the brakes off of them, and then Phoenix would play the Spurs, which would be an entertaining series. Might go 6 games, but I don't know if they have enough bodies for Victor Wembanyama and that crew. Victor Wembanyama eligible for postseason awards played the amount of minutes he needed to play a couple days ago. Um, yeah, I think both these teams are winners. In a shot in the dark, if the next game hypothetically would be Portland versus the Clippers, the Clippers might be able to play OKC again, and they played them very well last year. But this is a completely different Clippers team, so I don't think I'm thinking too deep about it. I think both these teams, Portland and Phoenix, come out winners of this plan. We'll put it that way. How about that? And that kind of spoils my prediction for the Clippers versus Warriors, but who cares? It's the 9 versus 10 matchup out west. Oh man. This is not where. Well, first of all, let me start off with congratulations. Congratulations to the Clippers for putting their season together and not letting Oklahoma get their pick this year. Because if the Clippers were bad, the Oklahoma City Thunder owned their pick for this draft, the one coming up, and they could have gotten like a top five, top six player in this draft to add to what OKC already has. They did not. Kawhi Leonard, Darius Garland, Benedict Mathen, all the guys out there in Clipper Nation, round of applause for you because you did not let Oklahoma City get a high pick. That would have been devastating for the league. Where is it right now? Actually, let's see. While we're here, let's see. NBA draft order. Right now, if we go look at it, the Clippers would give the Oklahoma City Thunder the 12th pick, and that would be Yaxel Lenenberg. Lenborg. That's actually that's still a pretty good pick. But at least it's not top five. At least they're not getting like a Keontae Wagler, a Caleb Wilson, a Nate Ahmed, a Cameron Boozer, Darren Peterson type player. Now back to the matter at hand, the play-in. Um, Clippers versus Warriors. If we go back and we go look at the schedule between these guys, how many times they played in this regular season. Oh, before we do, let's see any injuries. Um, Warriors are healthy for the most part. It looks like in this winner go home game, Draymond, Steph, Kristaps Porzingis will play. Now I'm pre-recording this. This is a day before, so something might change. But as of right now, as I'm looking at it, it looks like they'll be fully healthy for this winner go home game. Um, and for the Clippers, let's see here. Are they fully healthy? Because I don't know the status of Darius Garland. Has he been playing? He's been playing. Kawhi Leonard day to day, as usual, so he'll probably play. Um, Going back to how many times they saw each other this year, um, if I could pull it up. Um, Here we go. Starting at the beginning of the year, let's see. The Warriors played Clippers and won. That was October 28th, 98-79. And then they didn't see them again until, let's see, where are we? Here we go. January 5th. Oh yeah, this was a close one. It was 103 to 102. Clippers won that one. I remember that one. That was a really good one. And then did they play them again? They played them one more time in LA. No, at home. Yeah, at home. well, still in California, in the California area. Played them at Golden State though in the capital in the Chase Center, and they lost 114 to 101. The Warriors lost to the Clippers, and that was the last time they saw them. Actually, mistaken. Well, this is April 12th. This is the last game of the season. It still count for playing, but it counted towards the playing to try to finagle some of the movement around. But they did play them April 12th, and they lost. So the Warriors have lost to the Clippers 3 times in a row. Now this one, I'm not sure a lot of people playing this one in this Clippers this last one. So this was a throwaway game, but still a mental edge. The Clippers have won the season series 3-1, or yeah, 2-3, 3-1, yeah, 115, 110. In this last game. Um, Even if the Warriors are healthy, and this is another iteration of Steve Kerr versus Tyronn Lue. Um, Always a great coaching matchup there. um, Even if the Warriors are fully healthy, I still don't. I have very few people I bet against in the NBA side of things. And I don't bet against Steph Curry. I don't bet against Kawhi Leonard, and now I have to bet against one of them. Um, this season has been hell for the Warriors, and I think it would be less painless if they just got bounced now, and if they just went home. Because this team does not deserve to be near the playoffs in the play, and even as much as I would like to see Steph Curry in postseason basketball, um, get to see Steph play the 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 Spurs or Oklahoma, it'd be fun. It, it's time to pack it up. It's been time, but go out with a fight. Play this Clippers team hard. They're really good. They're really good. This Clippers team is really good. They've turned that corner a long time ago, but now they're playing to win or go home. There's no James Harden. Um, Darius Garland has had some playoff stinkers himself, but he's in a new situation, a new system. The times I've seen him in a Clippers jersey, he looks great. And Kawhi Leonard's a playoff monster. Um, I feel like the Clippers are more competent at this point, and that's sad to say because the Warriors have just been dismantled by injuries, and I've seen some players on this roster who I've never seen before in my life on this Warriors team, and I'm like, who the hell is that? Um, the Warriors got a bunch of who's, and maybe that's to their benefit. Maybe somebody can go off with Steph, with Kristaps Porzingis, and try to will this team to another game to try to play Oklahoma. um, but I would put my money on the Clippers. I don't think that's changed. I think we talked about this matchup previously, and I said Clippers, and I'll say Clippers again. Um, yeah, and that would put a miserable end to this Warriors season, but it's kind of what needs to happen at this point because there's no point in. I'm not saying give up. I'm not saying roll over. Play the hardest game you can, but playing the Spurs or Oklahoma is not a good reward. Leave it for the Clippers. Leave it for somebody else. Leave it for the sons of the the Trailblazers. Um, I want to jump into the playoffs really quickly. The matchups we do have confirmed. Two really good matchups in the West. At the 4 and the 5, we have Lakers versus Houston. I saw a report that Luka Doncic is back in the U.S. after getting some treatment overseas. We have another iteration of LeBron versus Kevin Durant. Maybe the last time we get this in the playoffs, with Rockets versus Lakers. I think the Lakers. This is an easy matchup for the Lakers. The Rockets are in such turmoil right now. The Lakers might have an easy one here. But we'll talk about that when we have the whole brackets. I just want to touch on these, and then we have a hell of a matchup at the 3rd and the 6th seed. Nuggets versus Timberwolves. Cinema. Sign me up. 7 games of it. 7 games of it. Sign me up. Um, Sorry if the audio cut out there. I slammed my desk a little hard. Hopefully it didn't do anything. Yeah, give me 7 games of that. And now we move out east. Again, we'll do the 7-8, and then we'll do the 9-10. Um, let's see here. So, Sixers versus Magic. The Magic suffered a literally a I don't want to I don't this isn't even over dramatic by me. A devastating, a crippling loss to the G League Celtics last night. I watched that game, and the Magic looked a little competent for about a quarter. They looked a little professional, and then they're like, "Oh, it's just the G League, bench player. Boston Celtics are not really playing anybody. Everybody's resting. We can beat these guys." And they got destroyed by Baylor Shireman and Luca Garza and Ron Harper Jr. I had so many high hopes for this for the for, for this Magic team, and for them to be at the eighth seed, being, I guess, the best of the mediocre, was not where I had them. I had them at the top of this conference. I had them at, I think it was like 54 plus wins, 58 plus wins. They're not there. They suck. And I hate to be that guy because I've said it before. I don't think the problem is their coach, um, who I'm drawing a blank. It's not JB Bickerstaff. It's the other one. The other one that looks just like him. Um, Moses something. See, that's how much I've been keeping tabs on this Magic team and how much I've lost confidence in them. I don't even remember their coach's name. Their coach, Jamal Mosley. That's what it is. Jamal Mosley. Um, Against a crippled Sixers team as well. They're gonna have to the Magic are gonna have to guard VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey. Maxey's playing, right? Oh my God, I should check. Because if Maxey isn't playing, then this might be a rollover game for the this. Nope, he's healthy, fully healthy. Sixers are fully healthy. Nothing listed as of this moment. Joel Embiid did have appendicitis, and he had treatment in Houston, and he's probably not going to play. So scratch Joel Embiid. What else is new? Wishing nothing but the best, Joel. In recovery. To the matchup. I've put so much misguided faith in this, and I've led you guys astray because I told you guys at the beginning, oh, they're gonna be good. Don't worry, they have name X player, Desmond Bain, Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs, who shaved his head finally, Paulo, who's gonna take that step. Um, None of those things have panned out, and none of those things they none nothing. I'll say this: nothing feels real in Orlando. It feels like a mirage. It feels like magic. It feels like nothing is real. Like none of this is gonna be around in like 4 years. Like nothing's gonna happen with this team, and it's so sad because they're so talented, and I really like Franz and I really like Paulo. This team just feels icky. It feels It feels disgusting, and every game you turn every time you watch this Magic team, you're like you turn on this game or whatever, and you're like, oh my God, on paper this team looks great, and then they play one quarter and they play really hard and they play really well and everybody's moving and like Jalen Suggs is diving on the floor, Paulo's hitting fadeaways, Franz is like doing his thing, and then like at quarter after quarter after it breaks down and it breaks down and it breaks down, and you're like, oh my God, what is happening? And to make it even worse, in that Celtics game that I'm talking about that the Magic played yesterday, Franz Wagner like injured himself. Like he like tweaked something. He like twisted something. And he sat on the bench for the whole fourth quarter. And this Magic team, very similar to the Warriors, quick and painless, get it out of here. Just play a tough game, but they actually might win this game against the Sixers. I don't know. Tyrese Maxey might have a game in him. But y- you gotta it, you're only prolonging the inevitable. You get to play either you get to play the Pistons, or guess what, the Celtics again, who this time will be fully healthy. So that's your reward, Orlando Magic fans. Just get out of here, quick and painless. Just get it out of here. I mean, like, I'm looking at this team, right? Actually, I'm looking at this Philly team. Pardon me. Let me pull up the Magic team here. I'm looking at this Magic team. Paulo, Desmond Bain, Goga, Anthony Black, Tony Orlando, um, Javon Carter, Wendell Carter Jr., Tristan da Silva, who I really like, Jet Howard, Jonathan Isaac, Noah Penda, Richardson, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Mortiz Wagner. You look at this team, it's like, oh, this team's pretty competent, and somehow something always manages to go wrong. Something always goes wrong, and to make wrong not happen anymore, just lose. This I'm gonna say the Sixers are the better team, but uh, at least the Sixers can get beat up by the by the by the by the Pistons. That'd be sort of interesting, I guess. And be an easy layup for the Pistons. I would like that for the Pistons actually. So yeah, go Sixers. Sixers are gonna win this game, and then moving on to the next matchup, right at the bottom of your screen, the 9-10 in the East, the Charlotte Hornets versus the Miami Heat. Um, Second single leading all-time scorer in a single game, Bam Adebayo, 83 points, and the guys in Miami versus the young and up-and-coming Charlotte Hornets who continuously went on winning streaks and just never managed to get out of the play-in. So I commend you for trying. You're here now, Charlotte. And Miami, back in the play-in as usual. Welcome back. This time, no Jimmy Butler, though. Um, Man, oh man, what thoughts? Thoughts about this matchup? I think, well, one, I think the Charlotte Hornets are a much more competent team than the Heat, and I never thought I'd say that in my wildest dreams. But seeing as what the Heat have done all season, and they've done nothing but be mediocre all season, and by like the skin of their teeth make it here to the play-in. I'll give them a lot of credit. They dealt with a lot of injuries. Tyler Hero didn't really play all year. Um, They had some weird lineups out there at times. They managed to throw together a lineup at times featuring Bam Adebayo, um, Jaime Jaquez, Pele Larson, Norman Powell, All-Star Norman Powell, Khalil Ware, Andrew Wiggins, and they're coached by I think the best coach in the East. But that might Joe Mazzulla might be the best coach in the East now. I don't know. Eric Spoelstra, you keep treading down here, buddy. Um, but they do have Bam Adebayo who scored 83 points in a game. And even if he doesn't score 83 and he scores 40, 45 or something, that might be too much for the Charlotte Hornets to handle, who I believe are fully healthy. Yeah, fully healthy, um, which is a team featuring LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, Pat Connaughton. I forgot Pat Connaughton was on this team. Damn. Um, Sion James, Ron Cockburner, uh, maybe Rookie of the Year, Con Knipple, um, Liam McNeely, uh, Kobe White, Grant Williams. It doesn't get any more almost playoff than these two teams and the rosters I just read out to you. This is right where they belong, actually. But that being said, both these teams have been pretty mediocre. The runs that Charlotte's able to go on, and sort of like the mystery that the Heat are, that they were running some really interesting offensive stuff earlier in the season, and now they've sort of like regressed back to like, here you go, Bam, Andrew, here, it's your turn. uh, Norman Powell, you're still an all-star, right? It feels very, I want to say, it feels a little disjointed. It feels disjointed enough for a young team like Charlotte to come in. Um, I think they're the first game on Tuesday. Um, so we're going to know immediately. But I think this Charlotte team is young enough and poised enough, and their coach is fired up enough to like get these guys up to play and be like, hey, we can we can win this. And we can be the what would they be then? They would be hold on, I gotta make sure I got this right. They would be yeah, they would be they would go on to play in my mind, they would go on to play the Sixers and they might even be able to beat the Sixers and hey, they might get up to be the seventh seed and to get to play the Celtics and maybe even play the Pistons. And if Charlotte plays the Pistons, I'm not trying to blow too much smoke up them, but I like that matchup a lot. That's two really young teams, two really competitive teams. But also, I really like Charlotte against the Celtics. Just two varying different styles, and see Lamelo Ball versus like the Celtics in in the TD Garden would kind of be crazy. It'd be kind of crazy. Him throwing up those shots with those jerseys up there would be kind of crazy. So yeah, I have the Sixers and um, the Hornets going to the game to advance, and then seventh or eighth seed, both of them are gonna play the Celtics or the Pistons, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, those are my teams. Those are my play-in predictions, I guess. Again, if I didn't mention it, this video is pre-recorded. I'm pre-recording this on Monday, so if anything has changed in the last 24 hours, I apologize. It's gonna go up. This is either the first or second video of a double feature. The first video that was up today, or the second one, uh, was my WNBA draft video, my reaction to that. So check that out as well on the channel. Do I have any other NBA stuff I wanted? Oh, almost forgot. Almost forgot. Almost forgot. I slammed my desk out again. I am so sorry, guys, if you blew your eardrums out. How could I forget? Um, the non-surprising move that the Bucks have moved off Doc Rivers. I said it in a video literally last week. I was talking about this Bucks team, and I was like, it leaked that Doc Rivers was going to retire at the end of the season, and he came out afterwards and said, "That's not happening. I'm not retiring. Whatever, whatever. It's lies." And I said, he's bullshitting. He's going to retire, or he's going to take a year off and then retire the following year, just so the reporters aren't right. But the Bucks did it for him. Him and the Bucks came to a mutual agreement that he will no longer be the coach, and they are searching for an advisory role for him in some capacity, maybe still with the Bucks. We'll see. But Doc Rivers is no longer the coach of the Bucks, and what now I guess is the offseason for a lot of these teams, and especially the Bucks, begins a long road for the Bucks to see what they will be next year. Because the Giannis stuff is still brewing, the Doc stuff is over now. The saga of 3 years, which I can't believe it was 3 years that Doc Rivers was the coach of that team, is over. You have Miles Turner on a huge contract, and you tried to get back into the playoffs. Didn't happen. You were out of the play-in. You were in the offseason now, Milwaukee Bucks, and who knows what the future holds. But yeah, that's the last bit of news I want to talk about here. Yeah. Check out the playlist on the right. It will probably be Road to the 2026 NBA Draft. That will be coming up soon. Obviously after the playoffs and all this stuff, but check that out. Check out this video on the left. It's a video about basketball that I'm sure you'll like. You can click it. Go watch another video. Also, the icon right in the bottom middle of your screen, my icon, if you click that icon, a little subscribe button will pop up next to it, and you can subscribe with ease and keep up with all the women's basketball stuff I talk about and all the men's basketball stuff I talk about. Like, comment, like, and comment as well, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.